Hello there, I'm Toby and this is Get Good With Me at Teaching English. Let's get the series really started by talking about these 10 games that you can play in your classroom. The first one we're going to talk about is numbers. Now to play this, all you need to do is draw something along the lines of these on your whiteboard and a dice. Students roll a dice and the numbers they get, they move that amount of spaces. Let's say I get a 5, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? The object of the game is to land on the star. Let's say they get another 4. They go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, you go back. You have to actually land on the star to win. Now, there are many other variations. You can just draw simple rulers type of numbers. Or you can draw a person with a tongue and you're trying to escape his mouth. Number 2, basketball. There are 2 ways to actually play this. The first is to go out and buy an actual toy hoop, hang it on your whiteboard, and have students take turns throwing the basketball through the net. You can have them stand further away from the basket to get more points. Now the second way to play this game if you don't have an actual toy hoop is to draw the hoop on the whiteboard. Now what you can have students do is to put a blindfold on them so they can't see, or have their back face against the wall while holding the marker backwards and try to draw a line from the ball into the basket. If they can manage to do it without touching any of the landmines, then they can get more points. Or you can award points at your own discretion. It should look a little something like this. The third game is going to be called Madness. Now to play this game, all you need to have is a whiteboard. You draw something like this on the board and you have some circles and stars. The star represents rewards or whatever you give your students when they do a good job. To play this game, all students have to do is choose a number, 1 or 2 if you want to give them the option 3. Now let's say your student chooses 1, you take 1 off the board. The next student chooses 2, you take 2 off the board. If they take 1 and they get the star, then they get the reward. The student or team with the most amount of rewards or stars at the end of the game wins. The fourth game we're going to be talking about is bingo! To play this game is pretty simple. You already know how to play it. You just draw any amount of grids you want on the board. I'm going to draw 9 so you can look at 3 different versions of how to play. The first one is just the easy numbers version where they choose a number and the first to get a line wins that round. Next is some alphabets. You can even put some VOC versions in there. The first team to get a line wins. You can draw any amount of grids you want. Now to make it more of a team game is to draw a grid for each team and have the students come up and fill in the blanks with a word or an alphabet or a number. And then you can play bingo afterwards. The fifth game we're going to be talking about is drag and drop. Not drag and drop. Drag and drop. To play this game, all you're going to need is a whiteboard and a dice. Now if you have more little magnets, that would be even better. You're going to probably need them for other games in the future, so I recommend buying them anyways. Now if you do have magnets, what you do is you put the magnets in the circles you see here. Now if you don't have magnets, it's fine. Just draw the circles like I did. To play, the students throw a dice and the number that appears on the dice is how many times they can move the circle. The team that gets the most circles into their team wins the game. For example, I throw a 6. Now, my grid isn't very big, so I'll probably make a rule such as if you roll 1 or 2, you can move 1, 3, 4, you can move 2, and 5, 6, you can move 3 times. So let's say I roll 5, so I can move 3 spaces. I will move this magnet 1, 2, 3 into my A spot, so I have 1 circle. Team 2 throws, they get a 2, they can move it only 1 spot. I move this one, I move it over here, okay. The student with the most circles into their group, again, wins the game. Now the 6th game that we're going to be talking about is Ninja Chopsticks. To play this game, all we're going to need is some chopsticks, a bowl, and objects to pick up. Be it marbles or balled up pieces of paper or anything that you think might be difficult for students to pick up. Now the object of the game is to transfer objects from one bowl into the other. The team who finishes first is going to be in first place, netting more points for their team. Now if you're living in Asia and you see your students picking up these objects with the chopsticks, you'll know why I called this game Ninja Chopsticks. Now the 7th game I'm going to be talking about is called Totem Pole. To play this game, all you're going to need is your whiteboard. You draw something like this with words going up a totem pole. Now the best way to use this game in my opinion is to review KK. What you do is you write the symbols all the way up with the ones that you're going to review, and students or the teams on sides of the whiteboard can try to write a word containing that symbol, such as this. So the first one at the bottom, you see the one with a 3 and a 2, the one that looks like a 3 and a 2. So you can write her. The second one, it looks like an ER version, so what you can do is write player. And the first student or this team that gets all the way up to the totem pole wins. You can also do a version like this where you write the colors inside and have students write an object that has that color. Such as this one, it says blue. What you can write sky. What you can write for red, you can write apple maybe. Game number 8 is called Pierce. To play this game, all you're going to need is a paper and a sharpened pencil. What you do first is you draw circles on the piece of paper with points inside, either negative or positive. Then you turn the piece of paper around and have students take turns stabbing through the piece of paper with the sharpened pencil. Like this. Then you turn the piece of paper around and see how much points they got. Now this one you see is a clear miss, so that's 0 points. Now if they do manage to hit a circle, then they get that amount of points. Game number 9, color in. To play this game, all you're going to need is to draw an object on the whiteboard and separate it into 6 different parts. I especially like to use this game for holidays. To play this game, all students have to do is roll the dice, and the number that appears on the dice, they get to color in that part. So let's say I roll a 2, I can color in the face. Let's say I roll 5, I can color in the hands. Let's say I roll a 3, I can color in the 3. Let's say I get a 1, I can color in the 1. Once I colored everything on the object, I win, or my team wins. Game number 10, Typhoon, or Helicopter. There are 2 ways to play this game. The first way is to either save your friends or to kill your friends who are not on your team. Now what you're going to have to do is write every student's name on the whiteboard. You can even write your own, and the dot represents the Typhoon or the helicopter. Students take turns throwing sticky balls on the whiteboard. Let's say they throw it and it lands here. What you're going to need to do is you're going to draw like it's a typhoon until you hit that dot. Now if you pass by any names, then you either kill them if you're a typhoon or save them if you're a helicopter. The objective of the game, if you're playing Typhoon, is to kill all the students who are not on your team. And if you're playing Helicopter, is to save everyone who's on your team first. A way to make all your games have the illusion of being more fun is to have characters for each team. What you can do is you can print them offline or go buy stickers and just put magnets in them and make characters like these. Even though it's the exact same game, if they have a character representing their teams, the game somehow seems more interesting. Plus, these are adorable! Thank you for watching. This is Get Good With Me. Please like, comment, rate, subscribe, do what you need to do, and I'll see you next time. Such as this.